I am about to take a big risk by ditching Shimano's top-tier Dura-Ace group set in favour of the more affordable and more practical Shimano 105, the group set of the people. And this is the polished silver R7000 Mechanical Rim Brake Edition, which I believe will be a classic in the years to come. Now in this video, I'm going to install the group set which I purchased with my own hard-earned cash onto one of my all-time favourite bikes. I'm also going to explain why I'm doing this potentially bizarre upgrade and also reveal a top secret part which I'm going to fit to this bike, which is potentially going to make this bike comparable in speed to a modern equivalent that costs 10 times the price. Right, let's go. So for those of you who missed the videos a while back here on GCN Tech, this is the bike which I purchased for just £500 and then made some small changes to it to make a great bike even better. But since then, I haven't actually ridden it a vast amount. Each time I do, I absolutely love it, apart from one really annoying thing. The levers. They're big, they're clunky, they're scratched to hell, and the gear cables exit from the side, which makes this bike feel far more dated than it actually is. Now this 10-speed Dura-Ace really is a thing of beauty, and I do really like the bike how it is, but after spending absolutely ages trying to decide what to do with this bike, I decided that what it needed was the group set of the people. And I'm talking about the OG group set of the people, the Shimano R7000 11-speed rim brake mechanical shifting group set, the 105. I feel like the group set like this is really going to keep the feel and ethos of this bike alive. And then having spent the last month searching out the polished silver components, now is the time to get it all fitted onto the bike. Oh, and also, the original 10-speed Dura-Ace parts, I'm gonna tuck safe away in my magical spares cupboard. Ooh la la. Going on this bike is a brand new rear mech, brand new brakes, good condition levers, a good condition front mech, and a chain and cassette I just had sat as spares. And then seeing as the joke about me just having a Dura-Ace crankset lying around seems to be the gift that just keeps on giving, well, I'm not going to change the crank. I'm going to stick with the original one that's fitted to this bike and hope that it works okay with the 11-speed components. And I mean, these components and the prices that they are really do feel like the kind of parts and upgrades that I think we can all get behind. And it also helps bring GCN Tech back down to reality after a few weeks ago I made my dream bike with an unlimited budget. And then finally, the top secret part, which is going to make this bike as fast as a modern equivalent that is 10 times the price, is going to remain a top secret part for just a little bit longer, because I have been talking for way too long and I can't wait to get building this bike. First things first, let's take it apart. Let's go. Right, that is everything removed from the bike that needs to be removed from the bike. And if you're wondering why I've taken the handlebar off, well, that ties in with the top secret upgrade. So here is the top secret part. Yes, it's a set of fairly inexpensive aluminium handlebars. But what makes these handlebars so special, and how is it gonna speed the bike up drastically to make it as fast as a modern equivalent? Well, hear me out. So the majority of the issue restricting your speed is aerodynamics. And seeing as the majority of the aerodynamic drag slowing you down is created from you, the rider, if you put yourself in a more aerodynamic, narrower, lower and longer position, generally you're going to help speed yourself up. Now, by using a narrow handlebar such as this, which is a 36 centimeter wide handlebar, so super narrow and slightly wider on the hoods, it's going to help get my body shape into that aerodynamic position. And seeing as they're aluminium, it makes them fairly inexpensive. Now these handlebars are actually super hard to find. So after hours and hours of searching online, I found one set because everywhere else had them out of stock. So I snapped them up quick, although they did set me back £95, which I think we can all appreciate is relatively expensive for an aluminium handlebar. turns out 11-speed cassette is actually too wide for the original 10-speed freehub body. Although I think I've got an easy fix for this. The back of the cassette, we can machine a little bit off and then that'll fix it. Okay, so we are on the drive in the car over to Frome to see Tom Sturdy of Sturdy Cycles, because he is going to hopefully fix our problem. Okay, here is the finished article in the sunlight nonetheless. I think we need to have a super quick run through the bike, also tell you how much money I've actually spent upgrading this thing, and then I'll explain what the plans for this bike are for the future. So, as I've already mentioned, the group set is the Shimano 105, the R7000 version to be precise, this one being the polished silver edition, which is actually fairly hard to come by. Now, in total amount of money that I've spent on these upgraded parts, including the handlebars, if you add it all up, it comes to just under £300, which I think we can all probably agree on when you take into account the prices of modern group sets and components is actually incredible. And as I said at the start of this video, those are the kinds of prices for upgrades that I feel like we should all be getting behind. Now, in terms of how this bike is going to stack up against a modern equivalent, which is costing much, much more money, well, you're going to have to stay tuned, because I think in the future, perhaps in the coming weeks, I am going to go try race this bike to see how me and the bike get on compared to other racers on modern equivalent bikes. And I'm really hoping I can do the bike justice, because I do genuinely believe a bike like this from this era for all in probably less than £2,000 can be just as good as all of the latest and greatest modern bikes. In terms of the rest of the bike, well, the majority of it remains the same as how I had this bike set up a few months ago when I showed everybody all the videos on GCN Tech. The brown saddle remains, although the vast majority of people said that they didn't like it. I, however, do like it, and seeing as the bike belongs to me, that's all that matters. I do, however, feel like the white bar tape now just really clashes with the rest of the bike and makes the brown saddle stick out even more. So I might have to succumb to peer pressure and try and find a white saddle for this bike. I don't know, but I like the white bar tape. I feel like it goes with the white accents on the logo. And I am actually really pleased to be able to keep the 10-speed chain set on the bike. I know it's not in keeping with the rest of the group set, but as one of the most visually striking parts of the bike, I feel like it's a nod back to the original setup and equipment that the bike had on it. And let's face it, that chain set is still super light compared to if I was to use the 105 equivalent from the R7000 group set. I'm gonna weigh the bike in a minute. We'll put the weight up on screen. And really for now, that's all there is left to do in this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of the bike and the upgrades that I've made in the comments section down below. And if you would go around upgrading this bike differently, please do let me know as well. And of course, if you want to see more cool bike tech related content and videos, subscribe to GCN Tech. And if you want to see me racing this bike, chances are you have to head over to GCN for that. Right, I'm out of here. See you later.